Welcome back to Manufactoria 2022. We have made some quite good progress on this section in the last level, and we were going to tackle the Ecognomist today, which is very high complexity. So, without further ado, let's get started there. Economics was known as the dismal science, a discipline filled with depressing pseudoscientific models. I didn't understand why that was. My business had always done fantastically. Why not build a better, more rigorous economics, making more positive predictions? With robots. Let's see. Produce the dollar amount before the minus the money after. If it's less than 2, round to 0. Okay. Okie dokie, hokey pokey. So, yeah, so it's just subtraction, which should work fine. Like, you should be able to just take off a red, take off a red. Taking off a red. Oh, geez. You're kind of doing it in reverse, right? You want to take off something from the back and then take off something from the front. Maybe. Could you do it the other way around? My concern is what if you had something like this and you're trying to subtract a red? But you also run into cases like 3 blues minus a red. Oh, I mean, potentially we could condense this into, like, we could use the machines from before to turn everything into the fewest blues possible. So if we had like 8 minus 3, instead we could first go through and turn that 8 into 2 reds and a blue, and that might make it easier to subtract. One other thing I could do is I could keep track, like, how far out of balance they are. Maybe. Like, oh, we've subtracted 3 more from one side than the other. Yeah, I mean, eventually we're always just going to get down to something minus nothing. Or I guess we could have negatives. Yeah, and then we just subtract 0. Okay, this is a tricky one. So we can have, so if we subtract a red, we'll want to subtract like 3 from the other side. So if we had branches for, like, you're down 3, you're down 2, you're down 1, you're even, and maybe I mean, if you went from your down 1 and you saw 2 and you remove that, you'd be up 1. You could have 5 branches, maybe, for the difference between everything. And this seems like kind of a terrible idea, but I'm tempted to go with it. What? But I would need 5 branches. So seems like it might be doable. They would all have to feed into each other. So this is down 3, 2, 1, 0. The idea would be if you're down 3, or if you're even and you remove a 3, you're then down 3, so you'd go here. But I think before all of these, we would need at least start to have a robot, and we would need a green to mark where the end is. And then we'd probably want to cycle through. Like we remove a red, and we'll want to cycle through everything before we get to this one. Oops. Let's undo that. Okay. So should I just put a cycler here that goes until you see a yellow? Maybe I can do that both sides. We'll probably need something like that for all of them. So maybe I should spread these out a little bit more. I don't have a ton of space to work with if I do this approach, though. Alright, so if we're even and we subtract 3, then we're down 3. We're even and we subtract 2, we're down 2. So this will need to get here. I feel like I'm gonna run out of space. And then these will be the second parts. So here, if it's down 3, this can either go to down 1 or down 0. So we'll take this to down 1. Yeah, this is a terrible idea, but I kind of just want to see how far I can go with it. So this needs to get here. So maybe let's shift this over so that we can make everything fit. Of course, this is not nearly everything. Okay, so we have -3 goes to -1 or 0. The -3 done. We need the 0. What am I doing? I mean, this is a mess, right? If this is +1, I've got 5 cases I'm trying to all feed into each other based on the difference between what we've already seen on the left and the right. I fundamentally just think I'm running out of space here and that this is probably not the right approach. Okay, so if this is not the right approach, let's consider some of the other approaches. We could converting all the blues to reds. Would make sense. Any set of 3 reds you have, convert to 3 blues. Or convert all the pairs of reds to blues and then subtract. And then you would have a maximum of 1 3 per string. And in that case, you could just chop off 2s. So let's think this through. If you had, say, red, red, minus blue, blue, so what, and then you converted every pair of reds to 2 blues. So you'd end up with like this instead. And then you could chop off 1 blue at a time. So it would eventually look like this. And if you had a red on the left but not on the right, that would be 0. But if you had some blues on the left and a red on the right, you could then cut off 3 of them. I think this whole approach is going to make more sense than trying to like map the cases to each other. So I'm going to scrap this before I get too deep into it. Instead we start, mark where the end is, and then for every pair of reds we see, 3 blues. And then if we see a green, we'll be done with that. Here we will be down a red. Any blues we see we need to replace. And this will be down a red, so we'll need to replace that. So, and let's add that green back in that we deleted. So let's just test this portion. The idea, except we want to go until yellows, not until greens here. That should be like that. So if we have, say, blue, red, blue, blue, red, red, we'll do this. So we have 15. We go, move any blues to the end, replace 2 reds with 3 blues. Whenever we see it, and go until this. And yeah, now we still have 15, but it's in mostly blues with a red at the end. Okay. So, I had my colors backwards before. So this will do that. We'll put the yellow back in the correct spot so that we know where the subtraction ends and begins. And then I should be able to essentially copy this thing and just swap some colors, I think. So this one we're going till we see a green instead. So let's test. Okay, so this should take us till something that equals 5s, but with only 1 red in each value. So we start, this equals 15. So when we make it through this section, this still equals 15. And we have a 10. We take it through, and this equals 10. Great. At that point, we'll want to take off 1 blue from the front and the back. Right, so we'll go, if we have at least 1 blue, we take it off, and then we cycle through everything else. And we should just do that again, but again with colors swapped so that it's greens instead. And this should handle the cases that are only blues. So it's essentially 2 linked machines. But we will want to handle the yellow and the green. Rewrite that. Alright, so before we had 15 minus 10, we get through the top machine. So it's still 15 minus 10, but there's only a single red in each of them. And this part at the end here, this part at the end, so we have 15 minus 10. If we go right here, we go through this loop, and we have 13 minus 8, and then 11 minus 6, 9 minus 4. So we're subtracting 2 from both sides each time, 7 minus 2. We get through here, we get 5. At this point, that gets dropped on the floor. Okay, so if this is green, we can just consume it. That'll be easy enough. And then we get there. Wait, what happened? We had 5. We subtracted a blue there. Alright, so we need to... Let's flip this so that we get non-intersecting lines. So if I move this just down 1, instead draw it this way, and then flip this side, I can then draw this without everything intersecting. Okay. And you know what? This is actually going to be more clear, I think, if I just bring this aspect of the machine to here. Yeah, let's just start the whole thing up here. I realize it's very inefficient, but that can get optimized later. Cool. So I'm just trying to make this as easy to look at as possible, because we have 2 separate machines, basically. Alright, so this is 15 minus 10. Minus 10, 7 minus 2, 5 minus nothing. Go through here. Once we dropped, we've read the green, so we need to replace that blue. And then let's move this whole thing over to give us a little more space. Yeah. Replace the blue and then do one of these cyclers so that we can delete that yellow that we have left over. And We continue on, 7 minus 2, 5 minus nothing. And we cycle through, and we get 5. Great. That one works. And then we're probably going to have one that ends here. I'm just going to run it and see which cases break. Alright, 3 minus nothing. Great. This goes here. We read the red. We'll have to write a red. And that should be the last thing. So if we just, let's give myself even more space here. We write the red. We copy this thing and rotate it. Will this work? Red minus. Right, what does red minus give me? Red minus. So it should come through here. Red minus, yep. Delete it. Ah, okay. So we just need to get rid of a yellow and a green, I think. Okay, minus 3 needs to become 0. So how does that get processed? So minus 3 passes through there. That's like the stuff is a minus. So let's undo that. Give myself just a little bit of space. This was yellow, I think. This is yellow. And then we remove everything. Yeah, we're just removing things because we have negative values. Should be something like this. Okay, 3 minus 3. This is the last thing. Okay, so that is getting close. Right. Yeah, if we start with a red, we go until we see a yellow. Okay. Let's wait to write it. This is 3 minus a value. If that value is 0, our answer is just going to be 3. So we can write this down here. If the answer is not 0, we are going to... 1 gets rounded down to 0. So we just want to delete everything. So it doesn't matter whether it's 2 or 1. We can just do something like this. Let's see if that works. Ah, okay. 2 minus 3. So we're subtracting 2. Alright, so we subtracted 2, so we know we want to subtract. Okay, so 2 minus 3, that gets us to a 0. Unless we had something like 6 minus 3, because that would be blue, 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 minus a red. So if we have, right, if we have blue, 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 minus a red, that should, yeah, that's like confused. We need to subtract 4 more from the beginning. Okay. So okay. We get here, we have greens and yellows, but we know that the second number is nothing, so we just need to subtract 4 from the beginning. And the beginning will have at most 1 red. So we can subtract 2 blues, and if there's only 1 blue, then we can have at most blue red, which is 5, and 5 minus 4 is 1, which rounds down to 0. So okay. So we know that first one's going to be a green. And then okay, so we go until we see a yellow. So we can delete 2 blues. If we see the yellow early, we just accept it. Otherwise, we need to do cycle through everything again until we get to a blue, or until we get to a yellow, and then accept it. 6 minus 3 is 3. Oh. Wait. 6 minus 3. We've already subtracted 2. We just need to subtract 1. Right, we just need to subtract 1. So if we see 2 blues, we can just write a red. If we see a blue, then a red, though, then we should do something different. So this... Great. So we're down 2 here. We need to subtract 1 from this value. So if it's a red, we should just write a blue. If it's a blue and a red, we should write 2 blues. And then we'll need to filter out some things. All right, what breaks here? 2 minus 3 should be 0. Yep, that's 0. We get green. Okay, so that's an easy fix, I think. Five minus 3 should be 2. So we're down 2. Yeah, I knew that case was going to be. All right, 5 minus 3. So we're down 2. We need to subtract 1 from 3. So we go, we see the 3, we write the 2, and then we need to go until we need to go through one of these things. Okay. I just need to fix the space, basically. So let's move this guy here and slide this all up. Fix that conveyor belt. Slide this up. Let's see, does that extra row allow me to finish this? I mean, I can do this. And move this up, move this up, and that should give me space. Okay, and that's gonna end in a yellow, I think. So if we just add this filter here. Is that enough? There we go. So, as I said, when the floor looks that big, it's gonna be complex. Marcus did his best, but he was having a hard time selling our Ecognomists or their predictions. Some of what they suggested seemed bizarre to me. 50% unemployment and a 200% growth in GDP. If these projections were even near right, and I was sure I'd work out the bugs, the near future is going to be very different. Dismal? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, so I think to show this example again, so we have 11 minus 7. So this first thing makes this 11 have as many blues as possible. So it gets to here, and this is still 11, but it's with a single red, a single 3. And then this second machine in this group is just a copy of this first machine. And once it gets to here, we now have only a single red on either of them. We go through and we subtract out blues from each side one at a time. We went from 11 minus 7 to 9 minus 5 to 7 minus 3. And then once we hit a minus 3, we have a bunch of cases we need to handle. So the main thing is we already subtracted a 2. Like, our main thing is that we subtract a 2, and then we go and we subtract another 2, but we subtracted a 2, and then we subtracted a 3. So we need the first one as 1 too many, because we only subtracted 2 instead of 3. So we come over here to this thing that just subtracts 1, if possible. So if you see another blue get taken out, then right, so by this point we are now 1 under because we saw a blue get taken out. So we have 1, 2 blues. So we've subtracted 4 versus subtracting 3. And if we see a third blue, that is 6 versus 3, so we can add 3 to even them out. If we see a red, that is 7 versus 3, so we add 4 to even them out. And similarly, if we start off with a red, we've seen 5 versus 3, so we add 2. So this whole thing is a -1 machine. And yeah, those are the components. Make it easier inputs. This thing is like subtract 1 from each, and then or subtract a blue from each, which is subtracting 2. And if we subtract a 3 instead, we have to do a last error correction over here. Honestly, I don't think it's getting any efficiency awards, but it works. That was certainly living up to its billing as very high complexity. So that was a little bit of a longer episode, but I think justified by the difficulty of this machine. I hope you enjoyed it, and in the next episode, I think we will be probably finishing up this section and moving on to governance. All right, have a nice day. Bye.